them yet, but they roll in. My mom will join. She always joins. All right. Give it a second. Okay. Theme song. Is this the theme song? Here we go. Where's Ian at? I gotta find Ian. There he is.
Good evening. All right. What year is it? Oh, good. It was 2000. Phantom Menace on VHS. Jar Jar Binks, y'all. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000. Yeah. Sing it with me. Let me hear you. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000, yeah. Oh, all right. Not bad. Give it up for your host, Mark Hornback, the well Hungarian. Well, all right. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000, yeah. I'm gonna see you at the fun. What? Wash your jeans, bring your notebook, bring your jokes. We got a microphone at the phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Is this thing off? Oh, you're laughing at me. Still counts. Phone simulation, yeah. Phone simulation 2000. I can't hear you. I can't hear you in the mic. All right, let's get this next started. I know you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Welcome to Fun Simulation 2000. That is our official dancer, Ian Ryland Smith, the biggest fan of the theme song that has my favorite little organ ditty in it. Thank you, Kevin McComb, for doing the theme song. Kevin McComb is a bartender at Reed's. We normally do this at Reed's local in Chicago. We are doing it on Zoom for, I think, 7 months now. I lost track of time. Bars are basically, I think, closed all the way down in Chicago again. So we'll be doing this until Giuliani gives us his blood. Rudy Giuliani to give us his blood and we'll be healed. He's going to save the country. He's going to leak that black ooze, and that's the cure right there. I'm sipping an Old Crow that I got from Reed's too. So it tastes like Reed's. The Old Crow tastes like how Reed's smells, which isn't bad. It smells like whiskey there. Oh, that's definitely Old Crow. You can't miss that. This is gonna be good, guys. We got 20 comics, and they're gonna do 4 minutes. Stick around to the end. Oh my God, I'm recovering from that still. That's not a sipping bourbon. Stick around to the end. We do the fastest minute in comedy. Trevor Gertensen grew up on Old Control. It is definitely something else. This is the sixth day of my bourbon Advent day calendar is Old Crow. And this one is my least motivation to drink on a Sunday night is because it's Old Crow if I'm drinking. Look for me to make posts on Facebook. If you're into bourbon, I'm giving reviews. Otherwise, yeah, this is going to be a fun one. That shot really threw me off. Do not do a shot right when you're leading off. I want to point out that when we've been doing this for 7 months, and I know some people are struggling, and I want to put the message out there to anyone, if we're friends or family or acquaintances, if you're struggling and need somebody to talk to, don't pick me. I'm really busy. I'm not qualified to help at all. There's millions of people unemployed in the country right now, and any one of them should have a lot more time than I do for phone calls. And if you do call, just make it before 10 o'clock at night. That's good. Other than that, any of our comics here are probably they'll help you. They got nothing better to do. They're doing a Zoom mic on a Sunday night. I'm just kidding. I'm really excited for our comics today. I'm just gonna start this because I know our first comic has a show in like 5 minutes, and I want to get him up. And I told him I would put him up first. So I don't normally do bumps, but this is the guy you want to do bumps with. Believe me, you could tell by his glasses. He's the guy you would want to do bumps with. This guy. Our first comic from New York, Ralph Anthony.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
All right, there we go. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Happy to be here. Happy Sunday. Fucking fun day. All right. I find it, I think that kids, hold on, I gotta back this up a little bit. I find it funny that kids have no concept of money. They have no concept of what money is, and they have no idea what it means to be rich or what it means to be poor. And yet, ironically, Monopoly, the game Monopoly, is one of the most popular games children play today. They have no concept of money, and yet they're playing this game thinking it's just a game. No, Monopoly is real life for adults. Monopoly is real life for adults. Rent, taxes, going to jail, those are adult problems. Those are adult problems. Get what? They made a game for kids called Monopoly. No. If they want to make a game for adults, they should just call it Life. Or Sorry. Or Sorry. I feel like Monopoly gives adults heart attacks. Like it'll give somebody a heart attack. Like it's just way too real. It's way too real. You know, I don't think adults can pass go and collect $200. Adults pass go, realize there's a tax on it, and have to give the government $200. That's how life goes. That's how life goes. Like growing up, I had no idea how little money we had. But I had inklings. I had suspicions. I had an idea. It didn't occur to me until I went over to my best friend's house. Because when you're a little kid, you kind of just stay at your house for a little bit, you know, and then you get a little older and then you go hanging out with your friends. And I walked over to my buddy Robbie's house and we went into his living room and I was like, where's the pair of pliers on your TV knob? How do you change the channel? How do you turn it on? I had no idea. I thought everyone had pairs of pliers as their TV knob. I had no idea how little money we had. But I had inklings. I had suspicions. I had some ideas. When I was 8 years old, I wrote a letter to Santa Claus. I said, "Dear Santa, I've been so good this year. I didn't talk back to my parents. I got good grades. I did all my chores. These are all the presents that I want." A week later, my mom called me into the kitchen. She said, "Hey, Ralph, guess what? You asked Santa Claus for too many presents." I'm sorry. I asked for too many presents from the guy who manufactures all the presents in the world. Seems a little strange to me. Seems a little off. But that lesson, that little interaction taught me 3 valuable lessons in life. 1, we don't have a lot of money. 2, Santa Claus doesn't exist. And 3, my mom likes to commit mail fraud. I'm sorry, you'll never have to worry about me calling Child Protective Services. You should probably worry about me calling the state police because apparently you like to go through other people's mail, Mom. That letter was in confidence between me and Santa Claus, not you, me, and Santa Claus. This is a 2-way conversation, so see the fuck out of my mail. All right, you guys are great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Ralph Anthony. Speaking of mail, I finally got my ballot. I'm going to vote this year. I got my ballot last Friday. It only took about 35, 40 days for me to get it. No, Well, thank you, Ralph Anthony. That is. I also had pliers on the TV. But I knew that wasn't a normal thing. Like I had left my house enough and seeing that that's not a normal thing, to have pliers on your TV. My favorite board game though, for kids especially, is a Ouija board. I mean, I don't think there's any way around that. I think this is the year with 1% of our population dying that it should make a comeback. You got a whole pool of users to talk to that are brand newly dead that need guidance to the spirit life. Okay, we're getting a little heavy here. It's the old crow talking, I swear. Our next comedian coming up, I'm finding him. Oh, Chris Alio, go!
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
yeah.
for hosting this, Mark. Very excited to be here. So yeah, something about me. I'm 20 years old. I'm 20 years old, and adults are still calling me buddy, which I thought would have stopped by now. At this point, I think they're just like going out of their way to call me buddy. Like they'll see me walking down the street and they're like, you know what? He looks a little too happy. Let's call him buddy. Why not? Nothing's worse than when someone my own age calls me buddy. That is degrading. There's no recovering from that. One time I was I'm a college student. I was at school before the pandemic and I was talking to two girls my age. And then a guy my age walked over and he was much better looking than me. And he went, hey, what's going on, buddy? And I almost started crying. It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And the girls had a look on their face that was like, are you going to do something about that? And I had a look on my face that was like, no, I'm not. I'm going to walk away with my tail between my legs. To change gears entirely, anyone here do karate? Yeah, nice. But I hope I don't offend anyone who likes karate. Like it's cool and all, but I honestly think it's kind of lame because it's self-defense. Like learning karate is just admitting that people want to kick your ass. Like people hate you so much, you just have to dedicate all of your skills to defense. You can't even begin to think about going on offense. A lot of karate people here tonight. I'm sorry. There's more to that, but I don't want to strike a chord. I like that little point white guys do with each other when they take a photo together, where they're kind of like that, like they do the finger, which I think is silly. Like they're acting surprised, where it's like, can you believe I'm taking a photo with this guy I've known for 11 years? Like, why are you so excited? It's like they bumped into a celebrity and they took a photo with them. Like they asked Tom Brady for a picture, but it's really just like Brian. Like it's just some guy named Brian. When I take photos with people, I like to just point out their worst features. That's what I like to do. Like, oh my God, can you believe the nose on this guy? Jesus, look at her cankles. Jesus Christ, she's terrible. That's such a fucking shitty joke. Oh boy. I've noticed in my life that strangers are very comfortable going up to me and saying hurtful things. Like strangers see me and they're like, you know what? He's probably not going to fight back at all. I think I can get away with this. Like one time I was walking down the street in the city. I live in Philadelphia. And this guy stopped me and went, hey, you kind of look like John Mayer. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And he goes, if John Mayer couldn't play guitar. And I was like, what is that? So hurtful. I don't even know what that means. I'm so offended right now. It's weird because he stopped me to say that. Like I don't stop people. I would never stop anybody for anything. Like if I saw a blind person walking into traffic, I would just let it happen. Like I'm not stopping people. But this guy saw me, thought that immediately. It was like, he needs to hear this right now. Yeah. Okay, that's been plenty for me. Thank you for hosting, Mark. This is great.
Yeah, good job, buddy. Good job. Christopher kind of not many people get it, but I think Christopher kind of looks like the comedian Drew Michaels, and if he didn't get the HBO special and was just like, I'm gonna do the virtual no audience show anyways. I'm gonna do it. That's what your set reminded me of. Sorry if nobody gets that. I'm even happier. Oh my God, people keep coming and leaving the room. Stop doing that. It is not a revolving door. I'm not heating the neighborhood. Our next meeting coming up, please welcome Alicia Rain.
Woohoo!
Hey, you guys. I just want to thank the brave little soldier, Christopher Alio, for a great set. I was looking at Instagram and Dana Gould, who I have a lot of respect for. I think he's hilarious. He's dating somebody who's like, I don't know, in her 20s. She looks like she's Drew Barrymore's daughter. I'm just like, I guess, he's just like this wizened little guy, and then like this like sort of model. And like, I don't know, to each his own, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm older and a little judgy, I guess. I don't know. That's all right. Sometimes I get personal on these, and that's okay. Like last night, I named like all the hip hop rep groups from the late 80s, early 90s, which are just like really, really dated myself. So that's all right. That's all right. Christmas is coming up, and so lots of shopping going on. I hate shopping. Can't stand it. Partly because when I go shopping, it's just me staring at the dressing room mirror with slow, sad tears rolling down my face. And the only time I want to be crying those tears are when I'm in the handicap stall of the women's bathroom while at work. I want to get paid at least minimum wage for those tears. I don't like shopping. I do like accessories. So I like purses, I like belts, those kind of things. And I saw somebody who had this like gorgeous Coach purse. It was breathtaking. And then all of a sudden out pops this little face, little cute pupper face. And I was just like, oh, why would you do that to that purse? Can you imagine what the inside of that bag looks like when a peeing machine has been in there all day? When I stole it, I was like, that is disgusting. Yeah. I have no idea what happened to that dog. Yeah. That's true. So this is my impression of Marie Curie. Why is my skin green? And then I'm just gonna do this bad pun. What did Marie Antoinette say before she died? I'm gonna be heading out. I'm Alicia Rain, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah. So we learned. Thank you, Alicia Rain. I like to learn in our comedy sets. I'm also notorious for fact checking people's bits. So watch out if you try to sneak in something that's not true. Our next comedian, please give it up for Chicago super spreader Laura Hart.
Oh my God. I mean, sure. Did somebody test positive for COVID at every outdoor show that I've done? Yes, but it wasn't me. So actually only 2 out of the 3. I am not a super spreader anymore. That was junior high. So, all right. And probably because I had a drug and alcohol problem, you insensitive prick. You know what I mean? I mean, when I say that, I say that with a lot of love, but it's true. I actually had this book. Some of you might have seen it. I mean, some of you might have mocked it, but I had that book, Stand Up Comedy 101, and it has a checklist in the front. And I didn't know this, but it's like, were you always cracking jokes? It has questions you take to whether or not you're a comic. And then one of them was like, were you the class clown? Well, I didn't know that I had checked off some of the boxes, and my roommate at the time opened it up, and next to where it says, "Was I the class clown?" I had written, "I was the slut." That's nice. I don't. Oh, speaking of which, there's my dad. I do not. I do not. I do not drink anymore, and I also don't do drugs anymore. Alcohol was really my thing. I just did a little drugs here and there. I don't think it was a big deal. I did, weed like everybody did. I think that's a kiddie drug, which is probably good that I don't have any kiddies. Then I saw a counselor for a while, and the counselor, reminded me that I had talked about huffing model glue at one time, and I'm like, well, come on, that is not drug abuse. That is a dark crafting period. That's what I had, I mean, sure, I had a hobby on my back like a motherfucker, did I get in some trouble around it? Maybe. Did I get charged with a DIY? Huh? Did I lose time? Sure. Did I wake up some mornings in a pile of scraps of felt with googly eyes staring up at me everywhere, and a couple of popsicle sticks stuck to my ass cheek, and a few half-made puppets in one corner, and a really haunted looking sock monkey in the other? Yes, I did. Sure. I also huffed aerosol deodorant, which is a way better high than the roll-on, but yeah. So thank you. Yeah. I don't really have anything else. After you call the host a prick, where can you go from there? Only up, So God bless you, you pricks. I love you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's me. That you talking about me. I got a shout out. I like when I get a shout out in your sets, because then I know I'm important enough to be mentioned. I'm not just a person reading names off of a spreadsheet. Oh God, our next comic. Look at this guy. He looks like he's gonna be hilarious. Wait, I know him. There he is. He just looks different. The beard's getting longer in quarantine. I like it. Please welcome Michael Cooper.
Hey y'all, how's it going? Man, I look. So I've been thinking a lot about like how the working poor can start to like get our due. And I think it needs to start in the dating world. As a, for instance, if you're poor like me, don't fuck rich people. If you do, make sure it's better for you than it is for them. Why should they get to come and retire at 65? According to the rules of late stage capitalism, you have to choose. Okay, if I have to choose between SSRI antidepressants and food, you can be put in a position to where you have to choose between coming and having a 401k. Those are the rules. Hate it. Also, if you're rich, you need to tell us before we fuck you. That is just information we need to have. Couple reasons. First of all, anybody here ever gotten head from a rich person? Right? Not something you want to talk about. Never good. They're not used to it. Second, that shouldn't be a surprise, I had a surprise right before the pandemic. I hooked up with somebody. We were intimate. We go back out in the living room to watch TV and hang out. We turn on the Netflix, and then it's just her name under the profile. Not, another profile with like a third cousin and 3 exes and then 2 old roommates. I was like, I have fucked me a Richie. I think that we need to start getting creative in how we fight. I'll give you a great example. Y'all know them golf courses where rich folks always hang out? whoever it was decided to put alligators out there. I like them. I think they're on to something. It is all like classism and you know, kind of anti-capitalism is very personal to me. I was homeless while I was working 40 hours a week. One of the things that happens when you're homeless, though, is, you know, you don't have your own facilities. You know, you got to shower at a gym, use public restrooms, eat out all the time. And one of the things that happens is sometimes you're in a bit of an emergency, someone's hogging up the bathroom. Now, lots of folks would get upset. They start yelling, hollering, cursing, making a big scene because their life is tough. And now this is happening on top of that, and it's embarrassing. I never did that. You know what I would do is I would just tap on the door, and if they were taking too long, I would just start shouting my personal problems through the door. Like, hey man, I don't even know if it's mine. Yes, sir, I've been limping for 10 years. She didn't tell me she was married. So I'm gonna leave y'all with this. What's the deal with every time a woman does something in a male-dominated sport, how do all the men I know suddenly have medical degrees right after? Like, is mine in the mail? I don't know what happened. Just in case I broke any laws, I've been Jared Kushner. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jared Kushner. If somebody has an alligator guy, you know it's you, Michael. Like you're the person. If I needed to put alligators on a golf, you're gonna
get you a gator.
Yeah,
but getting it onto the golf course, that's the tough part.
All right, I'll get it onto the golf course. Our next comedian coming up. Happy to see him. He recently left Chicago in the middle of a pandemic to go to New York and is on a stop in Cincinnati. In the meantime, it's the Reverend Ron Irvin.
Yeah,
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. How we doing on this good Sunday, folks? The Lord's Day. No, we're hanging out. Thank you all. So I think a good handful of you in here know me. Some of you don't. So I don't really do the Zoom thing for a few reasons, but one's I've popped back home to Cincinnati for a little bit, and we've had a lot of outdoor comedy going on here, which is really cool and kind of a blessing. But I will say there's nothing like doing comedy at 35-degree weather on like a patio, being like, yeah, I should just go read a fucking book. I don't know what's wrong with me. The homeless guy can only try to sell you the same pair of shoes 5 times before you just give up at some point. But it's been fun. I don't know. There's like, I was born and raised here, but I've been out for like, what was that, 5-6 years? And there's like, I kind of have like a weird outsider perspective that I bring back. Like, shit, I didn't know. We have a really shitty water park just called the Beach.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Like, it's really bad. And it's literally just called the Beach. And it's just now, after 30 years, the reality hitting me of like, you can't fucking do that. That's not how that works. Like, you can't have a horrible water park called the Beach. That's just like a homeless dude jerking off into a napkin under a bridge and being like, yeah, this is the Olive Garden. It's so bad. There's so many weird things. I had like, I don't know, just quarantine just caused like weird thoughts to creep into my mind. Like, I think what cracked me up the other day was the thought of a guy running for city council solely based on the fact that they're building a park next to his house and he's not allowed to live within 100 feet of one. That's very funny to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like he's at meetings and he's like, people are going to lose their homes. And they're like, I'm pretty sure just you are going to lose your home. And his whole slogan is one is too many. Yeah, weed and being alone rocks. That also just reminded oh god, yeah, this is another one the other day. There had to be some dude who just turned on to Netflix one day and said, I don't know who this RuPaul lady is, but I love me a drag race. Let's see what's going on. And he's just like, he'll get like 20 minutes in and he's just like, when do they get to the cause? Because it's just all these pretty ladies arguing with each other. Every time I'm like, ladies, you can sell this on the track. Let's go. I think the other one I had was like some guy in the 70s just completely missing what the Village People were all about. He's just like, oh, this guy works in construction. Finally, music made for people like me. Yelling at his kids like they're singing about the YMCA, and he's like, this is good Christian music. That's what your kids should be listening to. I don't like Alice Cooper wearing all that makeup. He's gonna turn you gay. All right. He just like goes to one of their concerts, and they're like, hey, you should come on backstage, and he's all excited because he just wants to shake the cop's hand. Anyway, yeah, those are just like Dish's weed thoughts that have been rolling around forever. This was an actual joke I thought of. This was something I thought of the other day. I was thinking about like all the times I worked in food, and I had an interview one time where like they asked me, what's the most important part of a restaurant? And I was like, well, obviously the fucking food, right? And he was like, no, it's good service. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. If the food's good enough, you can do whatever the fuck you want to me. I'm 100% serious about that. Have you ever had like really good pizza? They can piss in my mouth and I'll still go there twice a week. I don't care. All right. My name's Ron Irvin. My special's on Pornhub. This guy killed himself live on television. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Ron,
Mr. Dwyer.
Ron, he doesn't do jokes, Irvin. I'm just kidding. I love it. Good to see you, Ron. I like that. Yeah, you're not into the Zoom thing, but you're into podcasting heavily. Ron has like 3 podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts, videos. When I just felt that stand-up temporarily died, my mentality was like, well, let's find other ways to be like funny and entertaining and perform outside of stand-up. So that's just kind of where I've been focusing most of my energy, I guess.
Ron, have you released the fanfic one on a like?
Okay.
Oh fuck! No, I need to download that and just put it on YouTube. Fuck! Thank you for reminding me.
You're promoting, and I got to keep going. I muted you guys just because I didn't want to go on that tangent of promoting a specific episode, so we could keep going. Yeah, killing it. Our next comic, he's been waiting patiently, and now he gets to go up. I'm really happy to see Marcel Neal.
How's it going? How's it going? I don't know, man. I feel like any weed smokers in here, like I'm realizing that this weed is getting real strong, you know, like the weed's been getting real strong lately. Like the other day I was smoking and I was coughing. I went to like a 2-3 minute coughing fit just nonstop. You know what I mean? And when I finished coughing, I catch my breath. I'm like, man, where the fuck did they grow this shit? Wuhan? Like, it's that Corona Kush. Wuhan. Corona.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, okay, yeah. You all heard it. You know, that's the thing. The funny thing when something don't go over on Zoom and shit, like it's funny, you just turn into a technician, you know, you start checking the app, like, hey, did that go? I'm checking my connection. I'm not sure you guys caught that punchline. We caught it. It sucked. It sucked. That's what happened. So yeah, man, but it's crazy, man. This weed getting real strong. You know, I'm gonna keep coming with it. I'm leaning in. This weed is real strong. Like you ever smoke some weed and like you just pass out, you know, you just don't even remember falling asleep. You just wake up 3 hours later, man. You know, and it's like you get up like, who the fuck grew this shit? Bill Cosby? Like but the weed is really strong. Yeah, man. I feel like Corona, this whole pandemic, it's changed a lot of stuff. You know, it changed everything. Like I remember it was this movie, American History X. And no, I'm sorry. It was Project X. Okay? Project X. Big party. It's about a big party. American History X, that's something else. Okay. But Project X, it was a big party, you know, and it was like, you know, before this, if you saw a party like that, you know, you'd be like, man, what a fucking turnout, man. That's cool. But it's like now you see a big gathering like that, you'd be like, that's fucking disgusting, man. What's wrong with those people? It's like if I see a pool party today, I fucking throw up, man. Like, you ever seen like 4 people in the car with the windows rolled up, and you just think, man, all of them gonna die. Like, I don't think they 6 feet apart. So this is the thing, man. Oh yeah, real quick. So everybody in the room, this is just a public service announcement. If it's any swingers in the room, you know, and you want to invite me to one of your sex parties or whatever, I only have one requirement, okay? And that is I I've never attended an orgy where I wasn't accompanied by my close and personal friend, Magic Johnson. So, I mean, like, if you want me, you got to get him, you know? And let me tell you something. When Magic Johnson comes to the orgy, let me tell you something. Like, it's going down. Your T-cell count, that is. So, I hate when people say... I hate when people say life is short. You know what I mean? I hate when people say life is short because it's not short for everybody. I'm gonna tell you this, man. Like I live in a bigger city, and I mean, like life isn't short. Like I see a bunch of like homeless old people looking like they can't wait for it to be over. It is not. All right, can I fit this last thing in? So there was a big boxing match. And if you ever watch boxing, like on the bottom, they say like there's a Letterman scorecard. That's not for David Letterman. It was a guy named Harold Letterman. Now he was like an unofficial score guy. Now the thing about it was there was a time when Harold actually was going like losing it. I don't got enough time. Thank you. That's all my time.
Yeah. Stick around for the fastest minute to finish your bids. Thanks, Marcel Neal. One thing I do think that we should establish, it's been 7 months and Zoom mics are here to stay probably for another 7 months. I don't know. Nobody's going to get the vaccine. We're going to get a fucking cure for it and nobody's just going to get the damn shot. That's going to be the problem. But what we should do is establish, and I heard you and I'm just not laughing, so just shake your head. Everybody shake your head. If you heard the joke and you yeah, there you go. Then we all know, we know there's no audio issue or anything. Just shamefully shake your head. No. Our next comedian, he's adjusting his camera, but he looks good now. Josh DiDonato.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi.
All right. Yeah. We're doing this Zoom thing for a while, or we're doing the not performing live thing for a while, at least. I miss performing in front of folks. I did a Zoom mic on out of Tulsa, and then I was thinking about when I went to Tulsa 5 years ago. Had some shows at the Looney Bin. I also miss horribly named comedy clubs. And I was looking for sets to do on my off nights in Tulsa, and I found a listing for a Christian open mic, which I didn't go to. I don't know if I would have been eligible to perform or attend as a heathen Jew, but and so things that they said you could expect to see at the Christian open mic: Christian rock. I've heard of that. Christian poetry, that's not a stretch. Christian rap, we've recently been graced with that by Kanye West. I hadn't heard of that at the time. And then you could also expect to see Christian mime. Which, what a relief. You know, how many of us have, gone out with our families to a mime show, as you will often do. And then it just ends up being one of those filthy X-rated mime shows. I went to one of these and the guy was good. He had a very inventive bit where he sodomized a goat. And hey, the guy was talented, like you saw the goat. Yes, he was putting himself inside the goat. You could tell it was a goat. But not for everyone. And then I was thinking, like, what would Christian mime be? Like, it seems like a limited repertoire. Like, you could do, this scene, right? And then, I don't know, kneeling and praying. I guess if you wanted to really stretch it, you could, somehow do slaughtering thousands of people who won't convert to Christianity. There's some examples of that, but and then I was thinking there must be other denominational mics, Jewish mime. You could do Noah's Ark, right? Building the ark and then walking the animals up 2 by 2. You can act out all the animals. I guess you could do Lot's wife turning into a pillar of salt. That could be good. Probably the hardest denominational mime to pull off, I think, would have to be Buddhist mime, which is just the absence of mime. So more of a theoretical thing. All right. Thank you for your time and good day.
Yeah, thank you, Johnny Donato. The biblical miming I want to see is the 200 foreskins guy, the guy that went out and had to get all those foreskins. That's my favorite biblical story. I'd like to see that mimed out all 200 times when he killed the guy and took his foreskin. I was watching it. We're doing Zoom mic, so I think it's relevant to talk about Zoom mic, Zoom comedy. What the hell was that? I watched a show yesterday, and there was some professional comics on it, and one said that he hadn't written a joke since March, and he wasn't doing like Zoom comedy through all of this. And it's interesting because we've been doing this every week since March, and nobody's written a joke either since March. I don't know why we're doing this. I'm just kidding. Our next meeting coming up. Oh, yep, on the streets. Please welcome Jolly Bean on the street.
Hi. I once did a site called Donald Giggity Trump just to boost my courage. And my boss saw that set and said, you're not working hard. You wasted all of your time on those stupid Trump jokes. No wonder you're not productive. Oh, Beth, that's not fair. Yes, I wrote lots of Trump jokes, but in the meantime, I also write lots of other jokes. You see, this is what I get. Guerrilla warfare. That's what the movie The Rise of the Planet of the Apes is about. And I'm pretty confident of my sense of humor. I believe if a person's height is determined by his sense of humor, then I will be a giraffe. And what happened underneath when a hemorrhoid treatment specialist is suspected of drug trafficking? But this is a real story from my uncle. If you need a hemorrhoid treatment doctor, I can refer you to my uncle. And I just checked, transplanted hair will keep growing. I checked it just curious to know if Brian Urlacher still need a haircut during the lockdown. And what's the best description of the Chicago style pizza? Rolling in the deep. Remember that song? I couldn't have it all. No, I couldn't have it at all. I'd rather have a pineapple pizza. Oh, and this one. My boss was secretly laughing when I said one day I will be a star comedian, and he won't be laughing anymore one day. Oh, sorry, boss. This is just what I'm thinking. This is not a joke, but sorry, I shouldn't read it to you. I never ask you for a raise because I don't think it's worth asking you for that, but worth begging you for that. But my cousin recently, he was asking for his boss for a raise, and then just let the chips fall where they may. But unfortunately, he's fired immediately. He works at the packing shop of Lay's. And this is my future fantasy. When robots invade human toilets, robots, they don't need to use toilet, but if they occupy all of humans' toilets, so humans may have to surrender to the robots. But don't you think I just look like a robot with flashing eyes? And this one, so fast, we're programmers. Our code, I believe very possible they will be replaced or deprecated within 10 years. But my joke, I think many of them can work forever. So, boss, don't you agree? I'm actually very productive. Yes, thanks. That's my time.
Yeah, thank you, Jolly. Jolly, we couldn't see you. You were not.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're back on video. Look at this. As soon as your set is done, then you're back on video. That's
really?
The wonders of Zoom. It's crazy
No,
how it
no,
works.
no, no.
like-
Before I was here.
I
You
don't
can't
know what
see me?
happened there.
Oh yeah, because
I-
maybe
I-
I'm reading the text. Yeah, this is my yeah.
Okay,
Well, I
well,
was-
I'm gonna go to the next comic then. Okay, thank you. Our next comic is waiting patiently indoors. Then I do like having one person outdoors every time, but I usually like to see it because it's like it's there's an element of danger. It's Chicago. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen. Kind of like that. Our next meeting, Nathan Loft.
Hey, folks. I read a story that said men are having lower sex drive in quarantine, and men are having lower sex drive. Women are having higher sex drive, which I feel like at this point, God is mocking us. That's the only God. Just like, what if we put them all indoors, full of horny women? But get this, none of the guys' dicks work. Isn't that be good? That'd be great. Be good. I feel like it's just like a writing session in heaven where God just like, there's no wrong answers. Just throw stuff at the board, just whatever, just any idea you have. Like California on Fire, that's amazing. How much of it? The entire thing. Okay, fine, great. Put it on the board. We'll figure it out later. Some people want, when Trump leaves office, to throw him in jail, which I think would be good. But you know who I really wish they would throw in jail? My mother-in-law. Don't wait for more. That's the end of that one. That's it for that. Some other people, they get really upset now that athletes are kneeling for the national anthem, Star Spangled Banner. I get it. You love the anthem, understandable. But I just want to ask them one question. And it is, what does the word spangled mean? If you're not laughing, it's because you think you know, but you don't know. Has anyone used that word outside of that one song title? Never. You've never done it. Never. And you can't take proper nouns in a title seriously. Think of the movie Joker. That guy was not funny at all. That was the opposite of what that meant. Okay? That's why I would never ask that anybody stand up whenever the song Despacito comes on, because I don't know what that word means. Okay. Yes. Did you know you can get a DUI for being drunk on a bicycle? You can. Evidently, I am not the good citizen that I thought I was, because I'm driving drunk on a bicycle a lot. To me, the legal limit of when you're too drunk should be when you fall off the bicycle. I feel like it's a problem that solves itself, is my thinking. And that's illegal, but there are so many other activities that are more dangerous to do drunk, but they're just frowned upon, like tax accountant, pee-wee football coach. These are things that you shouldn't do drunk. This one's bombing. Okay. And yet I persist. A man in Florida got a DUI for being drunk in a motorized wheelchair. I want to let that 1 minute. I'm going to let that sink in, and I ask you this. When you think of the term boys will be boys, what do you think of? Awful things, understood. But what if we retake the phrase and we apply it, boys will be boys, to a man in Florida drunk on a motorized wheelchair, just doing burnouts in a Piggly Wiggly parking lot? This is my platform, 2024. Last one bombed a little bit, but that's okay. I'm glad I did this. Thank you so much for the time. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Nathan Luck. I'm glad you did it too. I think you're too drunk to ride a bicycle when you forget how to ride a bicycle, like permanently, when it's just wiped from your memory. Like you got to relearn like a child, isn't it all? No, I did see on Jeopardy one time, in the middle of the first round every episode, Alex Trebek, when he was alive, he doesn't do it anymore because he's dead, but when he was alive, he would talk to people about their hobbies or interests or jobs. and one lady was a volunteer for teaching adults how to ride bicycles. That's just what she did. She went out every weekend and just taught adults how to ride bicycles. I'm assuming they were just alcoholics that just never learned when they were a child. Okay, I'm gonna stop. This is going downhill. Our next comedian, I'm just gonna say the pandemic has had zero effect on his libido. He is out of control. Please welcome Andrew Shankland.
Hello, indeed. I'm in therapy, fun stuff in therapy. Talking to my therapist. My therapist is like, "Oh, Andrew." I said I don't have sex. He goes, "Oh, how do you define sex?" And I'm like, that's a conversation two guys can't have and not end with a fist bump. I was like, I don't know. I guess like hand stuff I'll do. And he's like, all right. I see you. Okay. My therapist only sees people on weekends, which I hate because I don't like that my mental health is his side hustle, It's like, what are you doing the rest of the week? Like, if you're driving Uber, that's frustrating because I could just do that and get the same advice for free, Like, I'm already telling my Uber driver about my relationship with my parents. I'd like to know he's qualified to hear about it, I think that's how you get affordable mental health care in America is you just have everyone in school to be a therapist drive Uber for 2 years. And then, okay, this policy suggestion. I like movies about historical lesbians. I'm a fan of them. I like them. I like them because I relate to them because they'll kiss and they'll go, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that." I'm like, that's also how I feel when I kiss a woman, They're like, our parents can never find out. I'm like, me too, Same angle. In the Jewish culture, you become a man at age 13 when you have a bar mitzvah. I am not Jewish, so I did not become a man until I was 25 and had seen every episode of The Sopranos. Feel bad for doctors. I feel bad for the first doctors because there's that part of the exam where they touch your genitals, And I feel like the first time that happened, they had to be like, "Look, I promise I'm doing this for good reasons," They're like, "I went to school. You got to trust me on this." Okay. One time I was getting my genitals examined and they found something on them and they had to bring another doctor in. And that's when I realized group sex is not for me. I was like, I don't want to touch myself alone in a room. We don't need multiple people in here doing it for me, Cool. Definitely not vulnerable. I like bookstores, but they make me uncomfortable because I feel like the only criteria they use to hire employees is whether or not I will be attracted to them. And by that, I mean they are all women with alien tattoos that are in good dresses. And they're like, "Can I help you find something?" I'm like, "Please, the love of my life. You're right here. Help me find you." Okay. We're losing steam here, and that's okay. I like getting I don't want to do that. Nope. I believe in, I'm a Christian boy, and I don't like people who live their religion very loud in like a very wrong way. Like you'll see like a guy in like a Jesus shirt wish like someone in a hijab Merry Christmas. And I'm like, dude, this is why we got fed to lions in Rome. I've done that twice now. I messed it up both times. Great. I'm reading a book about moral psychology, and they say that suicide bombing is very uncommon. It'd be weird if it was common, You're watching the news, they're like, "All right, you're gonna want to leave your house in a Kevlar vest because it's cloudy with a chance of jihad today." All right. I don't really like that much, but I think the punchline is maybe something. All right, I'm done. Thank you.
Yeah, good, Shanklin. Save all the ones you skipped for the fastest minute. I'm gonna remind everyone we're halfway through. That means the fastest minute is coming up sooner than you think. Stick around. Do all those jokes you skipped because you didn't like them. It doesn't matter. They'll go over better in the fastest minute. That's just the way it works. I don't know why. Our next meeting, please go. Dan McCarty.
Thank you. Facebook memories are pretty embarrassing. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're like, Mark from sophomore year? Look, I didn't remember you, man. But then you see that he's posting something that's really embarrassing. It's like a, really angsty song lyric. But you feel compelled to reach out to him because he's in his 30s now. It's like, hey, Mark, it's been a while, man, but is everything good with the wife and the kids? That part about the pool kind of has me worried a little bit, man. All right. Trying it out. Got a Popeye's chicken sandwich the other day. I got to say, I was shaking. That had to be the biggest chicken nugget I have ever seen in my whole life, man. I spent a lot of time thinking about food. I've got a issue with my weight. I'm fat, I'm skinny, I'm fat, I'm skinny. I've been fat and skinny about 30 times in the last 5 years. Safe to say my weight yo-yos more than America in the late 90s. But I was making pasta the other day, and I realized, angel hair pasta ain't nothing but spaghetti with an eating disorder. Yeah. Ramen noodles is spaghetti with no privilege, man. Lasagna, that's just spaghetti with way too much privilege. Now, don't even get me started on bow tie pasta, man. That's the 1% of spaghetti. Although you throw a little sauce on it, that's a real eat the rich movement I could get behind. I was driving down the street and I saw a sign for a funeral home and a crematorium. I got to thinking, well, crematorium, that sounds kind of delicious. What kind of cream are we talking here? Got some sour cream, throw on some tacos, get some whipped cream. That'd be pretty good. Or we could just go with some ice cream. Nice crematorium sounds delicious to me. I just hope that when my time comes, they have the ability to cheese me. I would love to get cream cheesed. That way I could go out the same way I came in, just smeared across somebody's hot bagel. Been trying to get my act together, trying to be fit in the quarantine. So I was working out the other day. I was doing jumping jacks. I did push-ups, sit-ups, squats, burpees, farties, llama licks, sparrow sips by my third set of koala kegels. I was wiped. I couldn't lift a finger. That's the moment when Wannabe from Spice Girls ended in my headphones, and I realized, oh my God, I'm a super athlete. You see, in about 3.5 minutes, I completed a workout that would take the normal athlete 45 minutes to an hour to get in. Like, there's something real special about me here. I was trying to uncover some hidden biases, or doing some self-work, and I realized I've got some hidden biases that I want to pay attention to. For instance, I assumed that every guy in a gangbang video was in it because they didn't really have a lot of options. So I was watching this gangbang video the other day, and I started thinking, man, some of these guys, they're actually pretty hot. They got all muscles. They got some barbed wire tattoos. 3 of them had a ponytail. It's like, this is the epitome of cool guy, man. They got options. These dudes, they're just in it for the art. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. One more time. Thank you, Dan McCarty. Anyone else hungry? That set just made me really hungry. I wasn't going to eat before bed, but now I'm going to make some pasta and bagels, my favorite things. Oh, God. Our next comedian, the official Fun Simulation dancer, Ian Ryan Smith.
Yes, thank you. I dance, and sometimes I get tired and regret dancing sometimes. But anyway, let's do some jokes. So there's this thing on the TV. It's called Prevagen. It's this drug you take that makes your memory good. And they make it with jellyfish goop. Or at least that's what they say. And I'm just wondering, how did they figure that out? Did some guy just go swimming through some jellyfish and he was like, oh God, I remember everything. Weird. My buddy and I, we were in his car, and he was like, "Ain't she a beaut?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not? If if it's a she, then where's her vagina?" And he just looks at me and says, "You don't want to know." That means he fucks his car. That's the there's a reason I lost the joke boat tournament today. Anyway, moving on. COVID-19 made me great at comedy. Which is why I'm so great at comedy. God damn it. I was kind of okay at first, but now I'm amazing. I'm like the Karate Kid of comedy. I always have Jackie Chan whispering into my ear. And I have no goddamn idea what he's saying because he's speaking in Mandarin. Fuck it. Let's talk about Christmas music. So I like to spice Christmas music up by adding rap sounds to it because it's boring and whitewashed otherwise. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, skirt, skirt, had a very shiny nose. You know, I still sing along to Bing Crosby sometimes, even though he drugged and raped all those women and he's a horrible piece of shit. Bing Crosby. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Just like the ones. Also, I don't know the other 8 reindeer, so at the beginning of the Rudolph song, they should not tell me that I know the other 8 reindeer. I know Rudolph. I don't know the other ones. I don't know Blitzer or Schitzer or Slasher or Crasher or Nixon or Wolf Blitzer or Hasher or Slasher. Again, 2 slashers. I don't know either of them. Also, there's this other song that everyone hates called Baby It's Cold Outside. And I'm thinking it needs an update. So I'm going to rewrite it so that the woman is singing, "But baby, it's cold outside." And the man is trying to get her to leave. You really can't stay, but baby, it's cold outside. You have to go away, but baby, it's cold outside. I just want to play my PlayStation 5. I said I'd be a good Christian boy and just play with my Japanese toy. All right, thank you very much. I've been Ian Ryland Smith, and happy holidays, I guess.
Yeah, happy holidays from Ian Ryland Smith. Musically talented. I like seeing people do comedy and more. Comedy plus something. That's always good. We need more prop comedy. Jolly Bean does that a lot, but she wasn't on camera. Maybe during the fastest minute the Bears will come out. Our next meeting coming up, Dan Ochoa.
Woo. Hey everybody. Thanks Mark for having a fun simulation since real fun is never guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I'm Dan Ochoa, and for most of my life I was afraid to eat cream of chicken soup. It's just that no one ever wanted to explain to me where they got cream from a chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, my last name is Ochoa. A lot of people hear my name and say Ochoa, but you don't look Mexican. Yeah, I'm Spanish. But I like Mexican culture. So I guess there is a silver lining to my ancestors' imperialism. Anyway. But hey, I made some kids also. I did that to prove a white Spaniard could do it consensually. And if Chris was still here, but he left, I would tell him, hey, both of my kids are in karate now. They're brown belts. And they have a lot of trophies that catch people's eyes as you walk into our house. So I got this idea what I did is I put up a tally board next to it that says confirmed kills. That's why you shouldn't bully anyone, by the way. Seriously, I mean, the combination of having kids that know karate and being bullied when I was younger is dangerous. I'm tempted to start shit with other men in public and then say, "Get them, girls." So I was thinking when COVID is over, I should take the family on a wholesome vacation. And I'm a good dad, so of course I thought, yeah, Vegas. Yeah. You know, the place with the motto, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, which is just a douchebag dog whistle that means she isn't going to find out, brah. Anyways, my kids are afraid of clowns, which is unexpectedly beneficial. That's why when we go, we're going to stay at Circus Circus. Because when my wife and I go gamble, we can be sure that they won't leave the room. Last time I went to Vegas, the MGM Grand put just great detail in recreating The Wizard of Oz. And for a while there, I thought I was talking to the best Judy Garland impressionist ever. But no, just a teenage meth addict. So while I was walking by one of the casinos over at Vegas, a homeless guy came up to me and he asked me for $1. And he took the $1 and immediately turns around and puts it in a slot machine and wins $100. All right. And then for the first time ever, I mugged a guy. So beating up people for money makes you hungry. So we took my $100 to the Excalibur. During the appetizer, they brought a piece of bread with a knife in it out. I pulled the knife out of it, and then they said I had to be manager. That one takes a second, I guess. Okay. But then later on, when it got very late, my friends and I thought it'd be great to go see a topless show. But I think we got tickets to the wrong one. This one only showed the bottom halves of women that did not survive the magic show. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, Dan. Man, this is how deep we're getting into this social distancing. Is I've been to Vegas once and I didn't really enjoy it. It's not my thing, but good God, do I want to go back now? I want to go anywhere. Like I would have a blast there. Please just put all the vaccines in me all at once. I'm not going to wait 3 weeks. Just do the 2 shots right into my neck. I don't care. Put it right into my brain. Our next community is going to tell jokes right into your brain. Adam Lax.
Ooh, what's up? Guys, give it up for Mark, man, holding it down.
I want to clap everybody. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And his shirt, man. This looks like he's channeling Jim Hopper tonight. Yeah. All right. I love this feeling right here. Like 85% of the comics are like tuned out. You know, really take it back to like the live comedy days. Love it. Yeah, I was a fat kid. Any other former fat kids? Current fat kids? Aspiring fat kids? You're just like, I'm gonna go for that pair of husky jeans. 2020, man. The worst for me was like the nicknames. You know, like they used to call me Fathom, or if they wanted to be respectful, Madam Fathom. Like I would just get so angry when they call me that. I'm like, stop telling people my burlesque stage name. Yeah, and like I had a very stationary childhood, like just like a lot of snacking, you know, snacking on chips, a lot of chips. Like my parents would get so angry at me. They're like, "Stop eating the paint chips." It's a slow burner, guys. And I was like not really good at sports. I was like a fat kid, I just kind of like throw my weight around and like knock people over. Yeah, I didn't last long on the golf team. Even before like the pandemic, I was like never really good. Like the social gatherings were always kind of weird for me. Like I'm like good at the party, like I am the life of the party, the pity party. But like, and like, I would get into it, like, start drinking hard and like dancing and bumping the music. And then like people be giving me weird looks. They're just like, this is a bris? And I'm like, it's time, this motherfucker. And like I just had like a hard time. Like a lot of times I'll have like a hard time just like connecting people, at like these social gatherings, like with all the typical small talk they give me, all the small talk questions they ask me all the times, like, who are you? What are you doing here? Can you not drink all our booze? But like after a little while, once I've broken the ice, and a mirror, people start to warm up to me, mainly the police. All right, 1 minute. All right. Yeah, I've been doing a bit of job hunting recently. Anyone else? Or is this more of a job foraging crowd? Like those interviews are tough though. Recently I had this one interview, like they're just asking me all these really difficult questions, and like I'm trying to like, demonstrate my experience. And then like by the end, they're just like, we just want to know where you were when the murder happened. And I'm like, well, I've got 3 years of excellent customer service experience. All right, guys, I'm Adam Lax. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. I like it. I'm old enough where when I grew up, adults would tell you like, don't eat paint chips. There's lead paint. It's bad for you. And I'm like I'm not gonna see like paint peeling and want to eat it. Like I'll definitely put it in my mouth and taste it, but I'm not gonna like consume it all the way. Like I want to know what the whole deal's all about, right? You want to know what flavor you're missing out on. It could be an entire new flavor. Heck, I'm a foodie. I got to know these things. I've been drinking Old Crow. I imagine paint tastes similar to Old Crow. Our next meeting coming up. Please welcome Ben Miller.
Hey everybody. Adam already called you out for everybody for being a little bit tired and low energy, so I can't do that. But I do have Mark. You're disappointed. You're like, how dare you not call everybody out? I a slightly different strategy. I'm just going to tell you exactly how I feel, which is I'm a little bit insecure because I feel like all my jokes require some sort of investment in my personality, which is difficult because I don't know most any of you, and you don't know me. How invested do we all feel in me as a human being right now?
Why?
Yay.
You are a person.
All right. Okay. We got some affirmations of my humanity. We got some heads to the side. If this is like Silicon Valley and I'm like a new startup and you're like the shark, are you investing? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Can I get some sort of stake in me? You're like, we're not quite in yet. You're like, the valuation is way too high. We don't really see the market potential. This is going nowhere. That's good. I'm understanding that now. Cool. I'll just get into it then. I'm 24. I've never been drunk or high in my entire life before. I know it's not. I'm Jewish. It's not for any religious reasons. I'm not a teetotaler. tea is genuinely too strong for me. That is one time my friend was like, "Hey Ben, you want to try this coffee ice cream?" And I spit it out because it was too bitter. Things that it's supposed to be an enjoyable thing. I assume coffee ice cream, but anyway, I've never been drunk or high before, and I used to be like real judgmental about it. Like one time, this is like a decade ago. This is oh boy, when you get partway into a joke and you realize this is gonna take like a minute worth of setup to get to, and holy shit! And there is zero investment from any of the sharks. It's real tough. But so I was hanging out with some friends at a chess tournament in one of their hotel rooms, and they're like, "Hey Ben, you should probably leave right now because we're about to smoke marijuana." And I did. I left, and I was very upset because at the time I was like, "How dare they taint the purity of the game of chess with their drugs?" You know what I mean? It was as if I had just found out that like Lance Armstrong was doping, but the dope made them like worse at chess. That was sort of what it felt like. But I'm not like that now. I'm a very tolerant person. Like I've still never done drugs, but I have made my friends pop brownies because I like baking. That's who I am as a person. But yeah, that was I think the first time that I've ever been offered drugs. Not to brag, I have been offered drugs many times subsequently. I don't know if that's a cool thing or not, but that is, I do have like a little drug resume. I've been offered cocaine at least 3 times. I've been offered acid twice. Been offered weed so many times I can't even remember, which I've heard is a side effect of weed. Yeah, and I've never been offered heroin, but one time one of my roommates, he survived, but he overdosed on heroin in my bathroom, and then I had to clean it up. I know, it was a real nuisance. He was a real messy roommate, just leaving all of his heroin and needles everywhere. Yeah. So please accept me into your cartel. I've been around drugs, so I'm a cool party guy. I think that's been my time. Thank you so much for your lack of investment.
Yeah, Ben Miller. I want to invest in that roommate you have. That's who I'm invested in. Our next comedian is waiting patiently. I want to get him up. I'm really excited because we got Gary Hughes.
Yeah.
Congrats,
I
Gary.
just want to say that last guy looks like Gary Oldman in The Fifth Element mixed with Daniel Day-Lewis and There Will Be Blood. So, yeah, just the more the facial and then not the bang. But that was just me. Anyway, my friend recently got engaged. She got engaged, and her fiance is Muslim, and she grew up atheist. And found out that he can't marry her unless she believes in a god, like any god. So we were shopping for gods like wedding dresses. I was like, "What about Zeus? You like Zeus? You like lightning and thunder? You don't want to do that?" Catholics, they got a lot of saints. Saint wash dishes, saint bake pies, saint no, you don't want to do that. Let's see. Allah ain't that bad. You just gotta pray 5 times. You do yoga, don't you? Yeah, that's the same thing as yoga. You gotta pray 5 times and then have a compass so you know where the east is. No, you don't want to do that. My God is not so bad. You could do drugs and still go to church. My God, like you could kill somebody and still go to church. My God is pretty cool. Anyway, she has a dilemma on her hands, so she's gonna pick a God. I thought he was very lenient to say any God. I was like, yo, any God? You could pick Jesus. You'll be fine. I will tell you one time, I wanted a white person to call me nigga. I will tell you one time in my life, I wanted that to happen. I used to do this temp service jobs, and I was cleaning out a storm drain. And a guy I was working for, his son was helping me clean out the storm drain. He came over to his son, and he was like, "Hey, what time do you guys want to go to lunch?" And his son said, "I don't know. I was going to let the helper decide." I was like, "Just call me nigga. Like, you ain't got to call me helper." Helper is a weird word that I don't want to be referred as helper. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It just flew off the tongue weird. It's like, with the ER? Come on, brother. Older black guys, when you're an older black man, or if you just if you're not, you guys wouldn't understand because you're not black. But when you're a black man, older black guys kind of always want to pass jewels down to you. They feel like that's like their journey in life, even for the simplest stuff. I was at the bus stop eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. An older black man came to me. It's a perfect time to drop a jewel on me, right? And he said, "Is that a PB and J?" I was like, "Yes, it is." He's like, "If it wasn't for a black man, you wouldn't have that." And I was like. I eat plenty of jelly sandwiches in my life, and eventually someone's going to come up with peanut butter. I'm not taking nothing from George Washington Carver, but somebody was about to come up with. I'm sure somebody was right behind him. Like, hey, that should taste good, and it's like went to the printer press, and it's like already out. It's like fuck. All right. These are just this is a dumb joke. I created a dumb joke. All right, here it goes. I was at my homie's house. This is a stupid joke. I was at my homie's house and he was drinking. He was eating some cereal, and he was like, "Yo, you want some of this? You want some of this cereal? You got the milk?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could do that. Let's do it. Let's have some." He's like, you know that's gay milk, right?" I was like, "This is gay milk?" He's like, "Yeah, homogenized milk." It was like, anyway, that was more of a stupid. I like. All right, it's real fast. I like church billboards. Those guys belong in like an advertisement business. I've seen GPS guy positioning system. I've seen You Can't Stop, Drop, and Roll in Hell, and I've seen Beware of False Prophets. They are funny people. Anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, why can't you stop, drop, and roll in hell? That would be awesome if you could just keep putting yourself out and then be like, "Look, I learned a little things up in the normal world, and I'm taking them down to hell, and we're gonna take this place back, right?" Okay, our next comedian, very excited to see him. Please welcome Kurt Seablom.
Hey, Kurt.
Hey, everybody. So, I was married for 20 years, and after 3 years of marriage, I walked home to find my twin brother fucking my wife, and yeah, I didn't know what to do. I just screamed, "Look at me go!" You know. But then I had to realize, it's like those aren't my tattoos, so something was wrong. And people have asked me before, it's like, well, how do you know that your ex-wife didn't think it was you? It's like, well, because this isn't like a WB gritty reboot of Parent Trap. It's life. So, but yeah, it's really painful and everything. It's like I put my whole life on hold to go over there, and I should have suspected something too. Like as a twin, I mean, I'm called my twin brother's name pretty frequently. It happens, right? But when we were intimate, then my ex-wife used to say, Kurt's twin. So, I mean, that was a red flag. That was a red flag for sure. And he was the ugly identical twin too. He was the ugly one. It was pretty tough. After that, I couldn't even masturbate in front of the mirror anymore. Not any less, but no more either. That's and people would ask me like, well, did you get revenge sex? Do you fuck her sisters? It's like, well, she doesn't have any sisters. She had brothers. But yeah, no, didn't touch that. I don't know. It was pretty shitty and traumatic, but I promised myself that, when I was a kid, I would never walk out on my kids. I was raised by a single mother. My dad left when I was like really young. The only thing I knew about him was he was a man's man because he ran off with another dude. So I promised myself though, I would never walk out on my kids. And, I had a kid already when this incident happened. We've had a couple more kids with my ex, and if there's a silver lining to my ex cheating on me with an identical twin, all my kids look like me. So there's that, but after a couple years, then I was just like, I started losing faith in her again, losing trust because I started seeing the same signals again that she was, fucking around. Because you really start losing faith in your wife. You start losing trust when she throws out the GPS tracker in her car. It's like, where'd the trust go? So I was on Amazon. I was about to buy another GPS tracker, and I said, you know what? This is crazy. I can save some money by building my own. So I did that. But the other problem was every time she look at me lustfully, I was like, are you picturing my twin? It's you just never know. And my so separated now. I mean, it had to happen. I had to do it for my own sanity. And when I separated, my kids would come over because now I've got split custody. And I was like, this is your home too. Bring your stuff over. I said, what about pictures? I said, yeah, bring pictures too. Pictures of mom? It's like, yes. I'm not a kid. I'm not gonna draw a mustache on her and blacken her teeth. I'm an adult. So I drew stretch marks on her mouth with a word bubble saying, follow me to the donkey show. Anyways, guys, I'm Kurt Sieblum. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. I like that. That's a wild set. Wild family. That sounds like, that's the plot of all the porn that exists now, is something like walking in on something like that. That's what the kids tell me these days. Oh, we're gonna keep going. Oh man, we got a regular of the in-person mic here. Please welcome Adam Quaslow.
Hey, I guess sort of relevant. What I want to talk about is I hate when people say divorce is sad, because I think divorce is fucking beautiful. And I know this because I had my parents. Okay, I'm sure that if my parents didn't get divorced, one of them would have killed the other. But we have divorce, so they died on their own. God intended. Both of my parents were married twice. I only exist because of divorce. I'm a product of my mom's second marriage. My dad was in 2 14-year marriages that both ended in divorce, and both of them probably could have been called after 5. The second one, I was about to call a divorce lawyer. You ever watch a fight where one of the fighters is getting his ass kicked but just won't fall down? That was my dad's second marriage. My dad is a cat person, had cats all the time growing up. I had to watch him give a shit about a dog for 14 years. That's hard to do. Thankfully, we're hearing that these vaccines might be coming soon. In general, I love vaccines. They're probably the most important advancement in human health. But there's a lot of people who are against vaccines, which is a problem. I think I figured out the solution. We just need to bring back the sugar cubes. That's how they gave out the polio vaccine. It was on sugar cubes, and kids were vaccinating themselves. Some of them were probably going, hey, doc, I don't think I got a good enough look at that one. I'm going to take another. I just want to know who decided, hey, you know what kids love more than sugar? Needles. I'm a sober person. I don't like to use the term straight edge because I don't go to punk shows to hit on high school juniors. But since I don't drink, what I do now is I bring my own drinks to parties. Because when I get there and they tell me they have a keg of beer and a half gallon of vodka, I can't ask what they have a 2-liter of. One of my favorites is Coke came out with that orange vanilla flavor, and I love it because when I buy that, nobody assumes I brought them a chaser. I also don't smoke weed. I think it should be legal. I think smoking weed is a lot like Japan. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. But if it's all you ever talk about, you shouldn't be allowed near children. I once knew somebody who was so dumbfounded that I didn't smoke weed that one day he asked me, well, what if I slipped some into your food? Would you be mad? And I actually had to think about it because that was the first time anyone had ever asked me to contemplate all the good things that might happen if they drugged me. right? Like I might wake up with an extra kidney. You know how teachers say there's no such thing as a stupid question? Bullshit. Would you be mad if I drugged you? Is this stupid question. In case you haven't seen my face, I'm Jewish. It's been a weird time to be Jewish. Nazis are back. Like we let nostalgia get a little bit too trendy. I don't know if this is every Jewish person's experience, but mine, I grew up in a largely Jewish town. I was taught about the Holocaust my entire life since I was a child. Sunday school was 1/3 Hebrew, 1/3 religion, 1/3 here's why Sarah's grandmother doesn't wear short sleeves. And when I was in 3rd grade, my Sunday school teacher went to Poland to visit the Holocaust memorials. And I asked if she went to a Trailblazers game because I thought she was just saying Portland wrong. Like I understood the concept of genocide before I understood the concept of Europe. Like imagine an 8-year-old who knows what Auschwitz is, but thinks it's in Oregon. I think part of our problem is that our stereotypes make us sound powerful. Like people think Jews run the media. Bullshit. If we run the media, why does every TV show have a Christmas special? Meanwhile, the only Hanukkah special I've ever seen was the fucking Rugrats. Like we barely control cartoon baby media. Adam Sandler decided to make a Hanukkah movie and the studio said, okay, but only if it's a cartoon and you only get to do 2 silly voices. That's Bassett.
Yeah, thank you, Adam Quaslow. Good to see you, man. Good to have you back. Miss you, man. Miss the Sunday nights at Reed's. It's always fun, and hopefully they'll put the vaccine in the sugar and we'll be back to normal soon enough. Our next comedian, we got 5 more comedies in the Fast Minute Comedy, so I'm going to keep ripping through. It's April Walterschild. Yeah, Waltershed, sorry.
Scheid is good. That's good. Okay. Hey, guys. How's it going? Really happy to be here. Wow. I really fucked up a comedy show the other night while headlighting because I got high during it. And it was on Zoom, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, halfway through, like the weed hit. And I was like, oh no, like all my jokes are just floating out, you know? And I had my jokes in front of me and I still didn't know what to say. And I just like, you know, got like cold feet basically, and in the middle of the set. And now I know what impotence is like. So I really feel for you guys when your dick just goes like, no, and you're like, oh, what's there? That sucks. Like I feel that now. I wish guys knew what a period felt like. I'm like thinking of a way they could know, but we'll find out. Maybe just change genders or something, or start taking pills. So like, basically, let's see here. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos because, you know, they're never ending. There's just always one right after the other. And I love the intros. Everyone's trying to make money off there. I really want to make money off YouTube. But the hosts are just always so happy. They're just like, hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. My parents just got a divorce. Let me show you how. And it's like 15 minutes of like, just crying. And then they're like, hey guys, I'm so excited to be here. I'm gonna work out with this homeless guy I found on the street. Don't know his name, but I'm so excited to show you. I'm so excited, guys, to show you I'm gonna die alone and wreck a show while getting high. Yeah. I live in a Jewish neighborhood. There's so much Jewishness in this room. I live in LA, like the Jewish part. It's called Pico Robertson, and maybe there's other Jewish parts, but that's, you know, I just see them outside. And I'm German, so I'm not even cool. Like I'm just regular German. I shouldn't be here. It's not good. That's a very polarizing joke. Polishizing joke. I've been told I look like Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus without the magic tonight or ever. Oh, let's see. So I went back to my hometown. I'm from like a farming community, and I went back to my hometown. And I walked into a coffee shop. No one was wearing masks, but they had like mask required on the door. And I'm like, this was a bad time to find out my hometown doesn't know how to read. This whole like, that's such a hometown thing to do. Like, I don't care if you're from New York City or LA or wherever. It's like you go back to your hometown, you're like, these people, that's why I moved. You guys don't know how to read signs, you know? I think like this whole COVID thing is like, I think like a Marvel universe going through COVID would know how to read a freaking sign, but a DC universe, not so much. We have such a DC universe president, and he's got his goons. They're trying to like take the election. I don't know what your views are, but man, DC universe is our current presidency. There's so much more in that, and I forgot. But what else? Oh, okay. This is a new one. Actually, everything was new tonight, but this is one I just thought of last night. So in LA, that's where I live. There's the Getty Museum. It's up on a hilltop off the 405 freeway. My friends asked me to go to it the other day, and well, not the other day, I would say years ago, but for this joke, because you know, I'm just gonna tell the truth. You guys know I'm not going to museums during COVID. It's a museum. And I was like, Getty, oh, the people make the Getty images. Like when you see a celebrity out getting coffee and there's like a Getty image logo on there. So I'm like, wow, Getty has been collecting like portraits of George Washington since the 1700s. That must mean that Getty Images in the 1700s was just like, they didn't have cameras or anything. So it's just a bunch of guys like spotting like a famous president or somebody or like a queen, and they're like, oh my gosh, like paint a portrait of them really quick before they leave. We gotta like archive this, you know? That's it, guys. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, April. Yes, good job. Happy to have you. Also happy to have our next comedian, another local Chicago comic. Welcome to stage, Trevor Gertson.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for the way I look. I haven't bathed in 4 days, so this is what you get. April, I wanted to say, like, I used to live in California, and they had the Reagan Museum, and we had Googled it at the time. This is back in 2003, and it turns out they had the highest DUI rate of the entire state, which makes sense because if you see the Reagan Museum, you would have to drink 7 tons of gin. I think that's kind of it. All right, not so much. So I was doing a show. I was doing a live show in front of human people in Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
The past 2 days, and it was great. No, I loved it. But at one point, the headliner goes, he's like, you know, I think the hotel is haunted. And I said, your premise intrigues me. Tell me more. He's like, well, I'm pretty sure I saw a spirit in there. And I was like, well, that seems unlikely. And then at one point at 2 a.m, I walked out to the window and looked out to see the view that I had. And there was a shed with an open door. You do realize that a shed with an open door means there's severed heads somewhere inside there. No one leaves their shed open. Like, if you have to garden, you don't do it at 2 a.m. All right, got to work on that. All right, next one. I was, so I went to the School of Environmental Studies, and one of the things they made us do was winter survival. Yeah, winter survival. So I was in high school, and they're like, hey, we're going to turn you into the lowest part of the Midwest wintry ground. We're going to give you one match and the ability to dig yourself a wintry grave. Because guess what? The match did not work. It did not. So we just had to bury ourselves in snow. What was your high school like? All right, I get it. All right, I'm working on them. They're new. So thank you. So I'm gonna do, I guess, 2 more if time permits. So one of my friends in high school had a cactus. And we were told that, you know, like, if you're a proper parent, you should be able to take care of those things. Now, he turned out to have a 7-year-old child. And while that happened, he passed away. But he couldn't take care of the cactus. So he has a 7-year-old child, or well, at this point, probably 10, that is striving and doing well. But he couldn't take care of a plant that is considered the most ineffectual thing you could take care of. Which makes me realize that fatherhood is incidental. Okay, no, next one. All right, last one, because I'm running out of time. I like missing children signs, not for the reason you may think, not because I like the idea of missing children, but I like the idea of like that I will be the detective that will solve the crime, you know. And I like seeing all the signs because like they're. But here's the thing: they're always in black and white. Like you couldn't spring for color at that point, right? I remember when I was in high school, there was a band. There was a band called Blotus Anus, and they posted signs all over the city. I will never forget that name, but I will always forget the name of that missing child because they do not have the crowd work that a black metal band has. So what I'm saying is that I think that missing child posters should be combined with black metal bands because then maybe we'll remember. All right, sorry, I went over my time. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Trevor Gardens, and I like that. No, I do think every metal flyer should have a missing child on it, and then people will probably try to connect the dots between the band and the missing child. But that's just even more fun.
It'll help.
It'll draw people to the show, and you'll remember the missing kid. You'll be like, that's the kid from the whatever. I don't even remember what you said, but it was pretty funny. Our next comedian from Chicago, please welcome Mark McFly.
What's up, everyone? How you doing tonight?
Hey, good.
Okay, cool. Mark, thank you for responding. That doesn't hurt my self-esteem at all. All right, man. So the pandemic, COVID, everybody's talking about the COVID-15, right? At this point, it's like 25. But big dudes, as a big person myself, I don't fit in most places I go. Airlines are always trying to charge me for an extra seat. Personally, I think it's weightism. It's not my fault. I was born big boned, but everything after that, I own it. I do. The late night eating, the fucking unhealthy snacks, you know, always including ranch, hot sauce during sex. It's, you know, could really add the pounds. In an effort to lose weight, I stopped drinking beer, which really fucked up like beer goggles for me. So now what I do, since I'm not drinking beer, is I just take off my glasses and, you know, I get the same effect. You know, I'm not blind enough to where like I'll hook up with a transgender male or a female, but still enough that it gets the job done, you know. I've been on the bag of 4 or 5 one here and there. I know it's pretty risky. I don't recommend it, man. I should jump back on the wagon or off the wagon. Fact check that for me, please, Mark. Does anybody else think that they can give themselves Alzheimer's? No, I do. You know, I've had to force myself to forget so much traumatic shit, man. Like, okay, put in context, right? So I have a 3-year-old nephew, and this kid's so smart. He can name you every Godzilla character there is, which is crazy because I know I can't name you every girl I've ever had sex with. And there's definitely more Godzilla characters than girls I've slept with. So what I'm trying to say is I forced myself to forget some traumatic events. Yeah, when I said 4s earlier, it's probably more like 2s. And you know what? But I do consider myself a solid 4. And the reason I know this because every time I wake up in the morning, I whip out my ruler and I measure myself. No, I really like that one. I did. I've been debating this. Is it wrong to ask a girl that you're meeting, like through these dating apps, who has kids, if they were a natural birth? Like, I don't mind if you have children. That's cool. You know, I've always wanted a little brother, play softball and shit, you know, catch. But if you're single, the guy left for a reason. And it's probably because it didn't snap back. So, I don't want to pay for another man's mistakes, man. All right, I like that one too. Do you guys know a true warning sign of somebody who's really going through it? If your friend starts posting on social media that like, I get all the love I need from my dog, you guys should definitely give him a wellness check because, man, those fucking people are worse than depressed. All right, guys, that's me, Mark Fly.
Thank you, Mark McFly. No, I'm definitely one of those people. But yeah, if I start posting that, then please check in on me. If
Oh,
not,
Mark,
if you're
here's
not
my
too
little
busy.
guy. Yeah.
Here we got a dog on here. First animal of the night. Wait, where'd it go? Put your dog back on. Yeah, good. We got a dog. All right, everybody. We're gonna do the fastest minute in comedy. It's 1 minute. I'm just gonna give everyone 1 minute. I'm gonna start at the top of the list. I think I know everybody who's still here because there's not a ton. And after a minute, I just move to the next person in the list, and I just cut you off and do that. So that's kind of how it goes. We're starting with Alicia this time. So get excited. Go, Alicia Rain. Go.
Drive a lot, and so I listen to the radio a lot. What people I can't stand is conservative radio, not because of like their views, just more like the yelling. Like I don't think they know how to whisper. And then like the other one is like the morning radio crew. You know, there's always like Crazy Larry and Wacky Wally and Jennifer. I think they can have like, you know, the girl have like a fun name too, because we're zany, we're crazy, you know. So I think my ideal thing would be, you know, Captain Yeech and Silly Sally or whatever. I messed it up. Messed up my show. So I'm gonna go ahead and say bye.
Yeah, I don't see Marcel Neal, so I'm gonna skip him unless he starts his video. Dan McCarty.
Hey, I watch a lot of TV, and I've got an ex-girlfriend's Hulu account, so I watch a lot of commercials too. And I've been getting really jealous of the guys that I see in commercials. But it's not because they got something I want. It's, well, in a way, it's because clearly they're about my age, but they have a home and they can afford furniture too for that home. Like, what the hell are these guys doing? What kind of steps did they take in life that I didn't? Like, of course you can afford Simply Fresh. This shit. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, Ian Ryan Smith. Go.
So some people, they're worried. They say, Ian, you've got to close your webcam when you go to sleep. Otherwise, hackers will get into it and watch you masturbate. And I'm like, who cares? I'm in my bedroom. You can't blackmail me with me masturbating in the one place I'm allowed to do it. And then they say, it's like, Ian, don't get TikTok. If you get TikTok, the Chinese government will have your data. Again, who cares? What's the Chinese government going to do with my data that Mark Zuckerberg hasn't already done? Why should I be worried? It's not like they do anything that much worse than we do. All right, that's all I got.
Ben Miller, go.
Yeah, I got a paper cut opening a letter yesterday, and I was like, oh, God damn it. This is why the Postal Service deserves to go bankrupt. Yeah, I'm bad at opening letters, but I used to close letters all the time. My dad used to like send out mailings of like thousands of letters, and I would have to lick all of them and then close them. And then one day my dad figured out he could do it faster himself if he just got a wet sponge. So now I feel like I can relate with like auto workers in the Midwest. You know what I mean? But at least they can say like, I was like put out of business by like a robot. It was like smarter. It was more intelligent. I was bested by a wet sponge. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Jolly Bean is here. I skipped earlier, but go. Do 1 minute. Go.
Oh, hey, I don't understand those car insurance. Like this one, we are car farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Like I don't have my land, so I'm not a farmer. Why do I purchase farmers insurance? And that one, Nationwide is on your side. That's a stalker, so no. And also this, the AAA, yeah, they should pronounce their name differently. Like like somebody called, my car's broken, please come. That makes more sense. And that one, Geico, 15 minutes saves you more, 50% more on car insurance. But actually, when you use the insurance, you're already in 15 degrees of trouble, and your mood is the 50 shades of gray. So what's the purpose of car insurance? Okay, thanks. That's my time.
Yeah, Adam Quaslow, go.
Right. There's been a lot of talk lately about people wanting to separate art from the artist. Like, I get it. I don't want to support artists who do terrible things, but I get when people say, hey, I did nothing wrong. Why don't I get to listen to my favorite song? So I figured out the solution. All right. After this, Mike, feel free, listen to your favorite R. Kelly song, but I want you to promise me it's going to be an illegal copy. Okay. Bill Cosby doesn't deserve another dime from Cosby Show DVDs, but the bootleg guy on the corner has mouths to feed. All right. I'll watch a Louis C.K. special, but I need to see a watermark for a torrent website in the middle of the screen. Okay. Like Bill Cosby had statues at Disneyland. They talked about tearing the statue down. Fuck that. All right. That's rewriting history. What we should do is build a new statue next to the Cosby statue that says, dude, we had no idea he was doing that. Like, yeah, he earned that statue, but he also earned this statue. We can get rid of Confederate soldier statues, though. Fuck them. We knew who they were when those things were built. Nobody watches a Netflix documentary and says, wait, they fought against us? What? But it's dumb to have a statue of somebody you're glad you beat. That'd be like if the Bulls put up a statue of Karl Malone, okay? I can picture it now. In one hand, he's got the ball, and with the other, he's denying one of his children.
Yeah, Trevor Gertensen, go.
All right, so I'm going to do a joke that is probably offensive to everyone here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorite bits that I ever wrote. Unfortunately, times have changed. Anyway, so less than a minute. So Charlie Brown is so one of my favorite holiday specials is it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And not for the reason a lot of you may think. The reason I love that it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is because it's the beautiful story of a young little boy who can't afford a decent costume. And then his parents and his friends berate him for that crappy costume. And then he goes door to door trick-or-treating, where parents, instead of candy, proceed to put rocks in his trick-or-treat bag. So I don't think it should be called It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. It should be called, hey, nice costume, faggot. Charlie Brown Halloween story. Thank you. Very offensive.
Very offensive. Marvin McFly, go.
So we're on Zoom, and I don't want to trash it because they're great for open mics, but Zoom dates, man. I was talking, so I'm 30, not my demographic. We don't do Zoom dates. That shit's it's new to us, right? But I was talking to this 24-year-old, which good for me, right? But I pitched it. I was like, hey, just like I normally would on a date. Said, hey, what are you doing this Friday? If you're interested, how about we do a Zoom date? I'll get a cup of coffee. You get a cup of coffee. It'll be like right at a cafe or some shit. And I want to assume she died laughing. But this was all over text, and there's no way of me knowing. A week later, when she finally responded with LOL, I was relieved that she didn't literally die laughing. She was still alive, but she responded with LOL and said, I've never done a Zoom date. I thought only old people who are scared of COVID do Zoom dates. And I didn't know if I was young because I haven't been on one either, or if she was calling me an old, scary little bitch because I pitched a Zoom date. All right,
Thank you,
guys, that's my
Mar.
minute.
Yeah, thank you, Mar McFly. Thank you all for coming out. This has been Fun Simulation. See you all next week. Simulation.